Hello everyone, my name is Amol More and welcome to our channel Solution to Black Book. Now today one of our student has asked us this very interesting question, which is an advanced level question and it has many concepts for me to teach you. Okay, so let us learn the concepts together. Okay, so this is going to be a long video, so fasten your seat belts and let us start. The complete set of real values of a such that a comma sine a lies inside the triangle, and there are three lines given. So let me call these lines L1, L2, L3. So let L1 be equal to x minus 2y equals minus 2, L2 be equal to x plus y equals 0, and L3 be equal to x minus y equals pi. So these three lines I have written. So the first two lines are L1 and L2. So let me solve L1 and L2 together and their point of intersection be A. Let me call that A. So what am I going is I am subtracting equation 1 and 2 so as to get the values. Okay, equation 1 and 2 I am subtracting. Once you subtract equation 1 and 2, what are you going to get? So you are going to get minus 3y equals minus 2. So basically you will be left with y equal to 2 by 3. Okay, now substituting the value of y equal to 2 by 3 in equation 2, you will definitely get x as minus 2 by 3. Okay, so we got the values of x and y. Definitely this a is minus 2 by 3 comma 2 by 3. Okay, let us check once again so as to not commit a mistake. Subtracted y is 2 by 3, substituted y in equation 2, x is negative of that minus 2 by 3. Yes, so that is our point A. Now let me call point B to be intersection of L2 and L3. Okay, so subtracting equation 2 and 3, what we will get? So we will definitely get 2y equals minus pi. That is what we are going to get, right? So y will be equal to minus pi by 2. Again substituting this in equation 2, we will get x as equal to pi by 2. So we got our point of intersection B, which is nothing but pi by 2 comma minus pi by 2. So we got A and B. Let me call C to be the point of intersection of L1 and L3. Okay, this seems a bit tricky. So what we are doing is we are subtracting equation 1 and equation 3. Once we subtract equation 1 and equation 3, we will get minus 2y plus y, which is minus y, is equal to minus 2 minus pi. This is subtraction of 1 and 3. So y is equal to pi plus 2 to be simply. Okay, now substituting the value of y in equation, let us say 3. So what we will get? We will get x minus pi minus 2 is equal to pi. So x comes out to be 2 pi plus 2, right? So we got our point of intersection C, which is of L1 and L3, and which is nothing but 2 pi plus 2 comma pi plus 2, right? Always you should notice the lines. See, line 2 and line 3, the slope of line 2 is minus 1, minus 1 upon 1 is minus 1, and slope of line 3 is minus 1 upon minus 1, 1. So m1 is minus 1 and m2 is minus 1. So m1 m2 comes out to be minus 1. Hence line 2 and line 3 are mutually are perpendicular to each other. Though this won't be much useful to us, but we should know, right? So L2 and L3 are perpendicular and L1 is intersecting them. So let me plot these lines, right? So let us plot these lines. So first of all I will plot L1, then after that I will plot L2, and we also have one line L3. Okay, and let me name them. Naming is very important. So this particular line is L1. Okay, this particular line, which two lines were perpendicular? Let me check that. L2 and L3 were perpendicular. Okay, so this is L2, this is L3, and this is L1, right? And now let us drop their point of intersections. So point of intersection of L1 and L2 is A, which is minus 2 by 3 and 2 by 3. L1 and L2. So L1 and L2 means this particular point is minus 2 by 3 comma 2 by 3, and this point is A. Very important. of naming the points. Then L2 and L3. L2 and L3 are B. So pi by 2 comma minus pi by 2. So this is pi by 2 comma minus pi by 2, right? And L3 and L1 is C, which is the most tricky point according to me. 2 pi plus 2 and pi plus 2. So let me write down 2 pi plus 2 and pi plus 2. Okay, also I will write down the equations. They are also very important. L1 is x minus 2y plus 2 equal to 0. So I will write down x minus 2y plus 2 equal to 0, right? Then L2 is what? L2 is x plus y equal to 0. So let me write down L2 as x plus y equal to 0. Okay, then what is L3? L3 is x minus y equal to pi. So L3 is x minus y equal to pi. Okay, we need a point which is inside the triangle. We need a point which is inside the triangle. Okay, so how do we do that? So let us consider line 2. Okay, let us consider line 2. If you consider line 2, the vertices A and B lie on the line 2, but the point C is to the right of line 2. Any particular point P, okay, any particular point P which they have given A comma sin A, any particular point P which is inside the triangle will also be on the right hand side. So I can say L2P, let me rewrite that. So I can say L2P into L2C has to be greater than 0, because point P is to the right of line 2 and point C is also to the right of line 2. Both of the points are on the same side of line 2. It means after substitution of these points inside the line, we are going to get a positive number. That is the condition. Suppose if point A is here and point B is here and this is your line. So line A into line B will be greater than 0. And suppose if point A was here, then they are on the opposite sides. Hence line A into line B will be lesser than 0. This is how this concept works. Okay, this is from the chapter straight lines. So we are going to make and utilize the same concept over here. So let us start with the concept L2P. Now L2P, P is A and sin A, and our L2 is x plus y. So basically this is going to be A plus sin A. Okay, that is our L2P. I just substituted inside the line L2 the point P. Now I have to substitute this very point which is C. So that will be 2 pi plus 2 which is x plus pi plus 2. See, this is the x coordinate of P, this is the y coordinate of P, x plus y, and the line also says x plus y. This is the x coordinate of C and this is the y coordinate of C. This should be greater than 0. Okay, very well. So A plus sin A, and this will be 2 pi plus pi, 3 pi plus 4 greater than 0. As you all know, pi is a positive number, 3 pi is a positive number, so 3 pi plus 4 is a positive number. It means that A plus sin A has to be greater than 0. That does mean that sin A has to be greater than minus A. So this inequality you will have to solve. Now how to solve this inequality? For that you should have a better knowledge of graphs. If you don't have a better knowledge of graphs, then it will be difficult. So I will suggest you watch our series Play with Graphs. The playlist is provided in the comment box and in the description also. Go there in the description box, click on the playlist Play with Graphs, and you will find innumerable graphs plotted there from the basics. Okay, sin A should be greater than minus A. So what we will do is we will plot a graph of sin A. Okay, so let us do it on the next page because I need it to be very crystal clear. Okay, so let us first plot the graph of sin A. Okay, merely this is something sin A. Okay, this is your sin A graph. This is your A and this is your sin A. Okay, now this is your sin A graph, and now you need a minus A. Now minus A graph is nothing but minus x graph. Minus x graph means this graph, right? If it was a plus x graph, then it would have been this. If it was a plus x graph, then it would have been this. But it is not a plus x graph. It is a minus x, means minus A graph. So this is our graph. I will also write it down so that you have a better understanding. This is sin A and this is minus A. Okay, now the question says that sin A should be greater than minus A. Now check out the points at which sin A is above the graph of minus A. Now if you check out these points, these all points, they are all above minus A graph. And if you check out these points, they are all below the minus A graph. So obviously this won't be the answer, because over here sin A is below the graph of minus A, and over here the sin A is above the graph. Hence from 0 to infinity sin A is greater than minus A. From 0 to infinity, see, sin A is always above minus A graph. Minus A graph is going to go like this. As you can see, minus A graph is going to go like this, and sin A is always upside, hence sin A will be greater. So from 0 to infinity we have our answer. So the answer to this inequality, which I can say, is A belongs to 0. 0 won't be included because at 0 both the graphs are same. See, point of intersection. Hence after 0 up to infinity is the answer for the first inequality. So this is how you got your first answer, which is A belongs to 0 to infinity. Now what I'll do, I'll just write this down over here. A belongs to 0 to infinity. This is the answer of our first inequality. Now moving to the second inequality, I would like to show it on the same page so that there won't be any mistakes done. Okay, now we will consider any other line. Let us consider line 3. Okay, if you consider line 3, then point P, first of all, if you consider line 3, then point B and point C, both are the vertices of the triangle which is on the same line, which are on the same line. So point P and point A for the line 3. So line 3P and line 3A should be greater than 0, because P is above the line 3 and A is also above the line 3. And what is our line 3? Our line 3 is x minus y equal to pi. So that can be written as x minus y minus pi equal to 0, because we need L3 equal to 0 format, otherwise we won't be able to solve it. Okay, so let us first substitute the value of P. Value of P, as you know, is given as A sin A. So x minus y minus pi, so it will be A minus sin A minus pi, that is line 3P. And line 3A, line 3A will also be something same, minus 2 by 3 and then minus 2 by 3 and then minus pi has to be greater than 0. Now this is very simple. Check this bracket, negative, negative, negative. So this bracket is going to go negative. Now for the final answer to be positive, it means the product of two things should be positive and one thing out of them is negative. That means the second thing has to be negative. It means that A minus sin A minus pi has to be negative. So that means A minus pi should be less than sin A. It means that sin A should always be greater than A minus pi. Now we need to solve this inequality. Now how to solve this inequality? So on the same graph, if you see, I have it drawn. I have it perfectly drawn. Okay, let me take another page because अपने को crystal clear मांगता है. ठीक है, so let me draw that graph once again. This is my graph. This is my graph of sin A. Okay, so over here on y-axis you have sin A. ठीक है, and over here you have A. Okay, so sin A is drawn and what you need is A minus pi. So A minus pi. So A minus pi. So when the value of A is pi, then the value of y will be 0. This is as good as saying x minus pi, right? Y is equal to x minus pi. Okay, so when the value of A is pi, then the value of y is 0. Just substitute A as pi, so pi minus pi comes out to be 0. It means pi comma 0 is one of the points on the line. So pi lies over here, right? Because sin pi is 0 and you know better the basic graph of sine. And A minus pi is a line which is having the increasing slope. Okay, if you are not good with A minus pi, just check x minus pi. What is the slope? Slope is 1, right? The slope is 1, it means positive slope, it means it is an increasing line. So just check out how am I drawing, just something like this. See, very nice. Okay, so A minus pi is drawn. and this particular point is pi comma 0, point of intersection. Okay, let us check our inequality. Our inequality says sin A should be greater than a minus pi. So you need to check out the portion of the graph where sin A is above the line. As you can see over here, this particular part, sin A is below the line. So that is not the answer. So which is the answer? As you can see, this particular part is always above the line of a minus pi. This is our a minus pi and this is our sin A graph. So this is coming from minus infinity up to the point pi. Therefore the answer for this question will be minus infinity to pi. From minus infinity to pi, sin A is always greater than a minus pi. So that is our second inequality. The first one was 0 to infinity and the second one is minus infinity to pi. It's very great, right? Okay, now let us moving ahead. We are now going to take some other line. Only one inequality is remaining. Let us check that inequality. What's that inequality? Let us have a look. So which particular inequality is remaining? I guess L1 is remaining, because we had taken L2, then I had taken L3. Now yes, L1 is only remaining. Okay, so you can check that for L1, point P and point B. You can see point P and point B are on the left hand side. So you can see that L1P into L1B should be greater than 0. And the equation of line 1 is x minus 2y plus 2. So this will be a minus 2 sin A plus 2. And then you substitute b. Now substituting b is also very easy. Let us check. Pi by 2 plus minus 2 into minus pi by 2 will be plus pi plus 2 greater than 0. Very simple. As you can see, all are positive numbers, so this will be positive. The product of two things is positive, hence the other thing also has to be positive. That's it. So a minus 2 sin A plus 2 has to be greater than 0. That does tell me that 2 sin A has to be less than a plus 2. It means that sin A has to be less than a by 2 plus 1. Again, one more inequality we got. So again we will utilize a page and draw these graphs and get to know the inequality. Very simple. So let me add a page and let us draw. Okay, so this is your graph, something like this. Let us plot sin A properly over here, something like this. Okay, this is what I plotted sin A. So let me say this is sin A. Okay, sin A, or you can say y. Okay, and this is y, which is sin A, and this is x, means A. Okay, so this particular graph is sin A. Okay, and we need now a by 2 plus 1. Let me check that first. A by 2, where is it? A by 2 plus 1. Yes. So it's as good as saying x by 2 plus 1. Are you getting the point? It is as good as saying x by 2 plus. I need not worry actually, because this is an advanced level sum. So you must be understanding what I mean. X by 2 plus 1. Now when x by 2 plus 1 will be 0? So x by 2 plus 1 will be 0 when it is equal to minus 1, when x is equal to minus 2. So the first point you can suggest is minus 2 comma 0. Okay, now this particular point is pi and this particular point is minus pi. So minus 2, where will it come? As the value of pi is 3.14, minus pi is minus 3.14. So minus 2 comma 0 comes somewhere here, right? Okay, and the graph was a by 2 plus 1. Again it is an increasing graph, because x by 2 plus 1 has a positive slope of half. So increasing graph will look something like this. Okay, it is looking something like this, right? Okay, now let us move. Now you will say, sir, over this part how do you know that it is not intersected? So that also I will tell you. See, this particular point actually is 1. Now you will say, how, sir? Because when you substitute the value of x at 0, you are getting 0 by 2 plus 1, which is 1 only. So this particular point is actually 0 comma 1, and sin A is also peak point, which is 1 for pi by 2. So basically they are on the same level over here. So this graph is going to go up and never intersect our sin A graph. Okay, now let us move and check the inequality. Inequality says that sin a should be less than a by 2 plus 1. Let me check that sin a should be less than a by 2 plus 1. Okay, now this particular point, suppose I don't know, so this particular point I will call this as, let me say, p. Okay, because the x point we need to find out now, but I am not interested in finding it out. I will let you know in some time ki why am I not interested in finding it out. So let me call this point as p. Okay, so where is sin a lesser? Because the inequality is sin a has to be less than a by 2 plus 1. So over here, if you see this blue part, in this blue part sin a is always greater, and in this particular red part which I am showing right now, sin a is always lesser. See, sin a is always lesser. Okay, so that is going from p to infinity, right? So I will say that a belongs to p to infinity, right? Okay, where p is a negative number, p is a negative number, p is less than 0. Now you might have understood that why did I do so, because when I'll solve inequality, it will be crystal clear in your mind. Okay, so these three inequalities are there: 0 to infinity, minus infinity to pi, and p to infinity. So let me just do one thing, is plot these all on the same number line. Okay, and I will plot the points also. So p is over here, 0 is over here, and pi is over here. Okay, these are the 3 points because p is a negative number. Let me first plot the first inequality. The first inequality is 0 to infinity. I will plot it with a, what do you call, purple line. Let us start purple line. So purple line for the first inequality, which says my answer is from 0 to infinity. So from 0 to infinity, what will be, oh very sorry, I did not change the color. 0 to infinity answer is like this, isn't that right? Okay, then the second inequality is minus infinity to pi. Okay, so minus infinity to pi, let me say with green, minus infinity to pi. Yes. Okay, now the third inequality, let us see what is the third inequality. It is p to infinity. I will do it with a some blue color, right? P to infinity. Okay, now the point P has to be inside the triangle. Inside the triangle means what? It means it has to follow L2 condition, L1 condition, and L3 condition also. It means it has to follow all the inequalities. When will it follow all the inequalities? When there will be intersection of the answer. Now as you can see over here, there is intersection of the answer. From where to where? From 0 to pi, there is intersection of the answer. Hence when the value of a is from 0 to pi, this particular inequalities will be followed and point P will always lie inside the triangle. Hence the correct answer to this question is option C. I hope many concepts of yours were cleared in this question, as this is an advanced level question. First of all, intersection of lines. Then we understood that which lines are perpendicular, that we understood. Then we understood that how to check the sides of the lines by using LA into LB greater than or lesser than 0, and many stuff like this. And in the end we also checked the inequality part, that is the intersection part, and this is how we got the answer as 0 to pi. I hope you liked this video and the concepts taught by me. If you like this video very much, please hit the like button. Do not forget to hit the like button, because that will tell me that you like the video, and also tell me in the comment box what more you want. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel Solution to Black Book. This is Amol More saying bye bye to you.